Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Kush Den. You're now in the Kush Den with your host, Ed Honcho, and your co host, Mr. Shaq Kush himself.
Free throws all day.
All day. Free throws all day. So, with that being said, um, today, you know what day today is. Today is draft day. And draft day is a special day. It should be a holiday. I think everybody should be allowed to be off work and get prepared for the future of their teams. But so there's a Kush Den Sports, So we just gonna talk about what's going on in the draft. What happened last year, what's going on in the future this year, what we think is going to happen, any changes in the NFL that we think are going to happen this year. What's going to change? Will the power structure shift? So, like I say, it's Kush Den. If you're not familiar how it goes down in Kush Den, this is a 420 friendly situation. So, if you haven't pre-roll, you are out of control. If you ain't stuffed your bowl, you out of control. So, you better get on your shit, get your shit together. Introducing myself, like I said, I'm Mr. Ed Honcho. That is Mr. Shaq Kush. If you know Mr. Ed Honcho, you follow any of my other channels, you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, you know that I am definitely a H-Town homer, and I'm cool with that. So the Texans are the team that I'll be definitely watching the most this evening. Mr. Cushington, how about yourself? Who are you going to have your eyes on this evening?
Um, well, Texans. That's my favorite team. Houston Texans all day long. Another team that I really like to watch, pay attention to, because they always have a great defense. I was watching them when the Texans weren't around. Also, the Ravens is my second team. Ray Lewis is my favorite players. He's not there no more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, just watch other teams in our division. See where a couple of these players are going to go. See where they're going to end up. They got a lot of good players out there in the draft. A lot of good linebackers coming out in this draft. A lot of good safety coming out in this draft.
Yeah, definitely going to be a very good safety draft. Definitely some good DBs overall. I think it'll be a good DB draft. Quarterbacks, couple of quarterbacks. I don't think this quarter. I mean, what I think happens too with a lot of these motherfuckers with the quarterbacks. It always happens because you can look at like Blake Bortles and some of these guys along the last few. Jared Goff and the other guy too. A lot of these guys, they're relatively nobodies during the year, but once the season is over with, teams become desperate. The fan bases become desperate. They're like, oh, we need a quarterback so bad. And so motherfuckers start looking at these guys and kind of highlighting their attributes while overlooking, a lot of their flaws and shit. And then they try to make them more than what they are. And a lot of these motherfuckers end up picking a bunch of busts. But, me being a Texans fan and you also being a Texans fan, definitely, quarterback is a need for the Texans. And there's a couple other teams out there I think in need. The Jags. I think San Francisco might be in need of a quarterback. It's a couple other squads out there. I mean, it's always a squad that needs a fucking quarterback, no matter what. You want to have your quarterback of the future if you have a good one now who's a little old. So I've heard a couple of rumors about, as far as the Texan situation, a lot of people are fans of Pat Mahomes. I did a video about that. Talking about Mr. Mahomes, a lot of these people have been mentioning this Davis Webb and Josh Dobbs. I think those guys, Davis Webb, something about him I like, and I think that he could end up being one of those guys in the NFL. There's just something about him, man. Even though he's a product out of Tech and Cal, a lot of times that's that system shit. I think he could be interesting. But it's a couple of guys, that's coming out.
I don't think we're gonna find our future in this draft. Not a quarterback.
Okay.
Like nothing ways to pick. We need somebody that's with Bill O'Brien and his offense. If he's gonna be the head coach, they need somebody that's gonna sit back there for at least 2 years and be groomed. The only person he has on his belt that he can do that with right now is Savage. So you're gonna have to go with Savage.
Yeah, Savage.
I don't personally like him too much, but I mean that's what you're gonna have to go with because we're not gonna find. Nobody's gonna come out there right now and ball a quarterback on our team.
No matter what happens, Savage is gonna start because he's the only person that has a grasp of that offense. The only other possible solution, like I said, I've heard people talking about trading that first round pick for Garoppolo. I don't know.
No,
I don't.
no, we don't need nobody else's. The only person that I would take would be probably Colin Kaepernick.
But
And if we're not going to get him, because he'll be able to run around with that weak offensive line we got. But other than that, like I said, you're not going to do that. We go with Savage, and we focus on defense because our defense is what held us in the game last year. So why not just keep them up?
But absolutely. But here personally, like, we definitely disagree on the Osweiler Savage thing. But like I say, I think Savage, given the right amount of time to mesh with his teammates and, develop with them, which is a hard thing to do when you're not a starter, and especially dealing with a lot of rookies, a lot of young players. So that was there. But Savage is going to give you the best handle of that offense. And, so you got to go with him. And it has to be a step up. He can't, for a full season, give you as bad of play as Brock Osweiler did last year. And we're not talking about personal. We're not talking about personal opinions. We're not talking about personal opinions. We're talking about statistics. Statistically, and you can't argue this. Statistically,
you don't know that.
Well, if you can prove the facts and argue that Brock Osweiler wasn't in the bottom 3 worst quarterbacks last year, and damn near every statistical stat, show me where he excelled. Show me where he was a top 15 quarterback in any category.
When he played the Colts that one game, or the Titans, I think it was.
Maybe with a top 15. I'm talking about over the course of a season. I need a top 20. Show me where he was a top 20 anything. Top 25 even. I'm telling you, it does matter, because what I'm saying is if you can get a guy to go out there and at least get the ball downfield, avoid turnovers. I'm not saying he's going to come out there and be a world beater. You saw what happened with that defense, lacking a couple of starters, number one being J.J. Watt, and you see what happened. That defense was still extremely dominant because Clowney started to emerge, and I would love to see what would happen with a Clowney and a Watt and a Merciless and a McKinney all full tilt. Cushion, he's not going to play like the Cushion of old. So I definitely see what you're talking about. We need a linebacker in that spot, because somebody's going to have to come and fill that void eventually. Like, McKinney's doing a good job now. He's actually, I think, playing the majority of the snaps. He's calling plays. He's doing a real good job, and he was, a second-year guy last year. Definitely came on in a major way. Not just talking about the Texans, though, looking at some other teams, it's a couple of guys that I'm actually interested in seeing where they land, not necessarily, the teams in particular. You got Leonard Fournette out there. A lot of people were saying he should have sat his ass down and, skipped the season and shit like that. You had some people saying that his stock dropped. I don't know. I still see a lot of people projecting him to go early in the first. I think, with the right line, the right tools around him, maybe without it, that he could be a beast. But, a lot of times that college game doesn't always translate to the pros. And a lot of times in college you got guys who are bigger, stronger, faster than everybody. Depending on, the division you played. I mean, what who you played under, and all these things, if you're in the SEC or the Big 12 or, whatever. The talent kind of suits the style of play in those different divisions and things. So, the SEC, everybody says, everybody's big, strong, fast, whatever. My thing with the SEC is I don't think there's a lot of good quarterback play in the SEC. But you face a lot of real good defenses. You face a lot of good running backs. So I think, with him coming out of that, he should be solid. I don't know. I just don't know if he's gonna really be. He's gonna be like Zeke last year. I think that's what happens to a lot of people. I think the Zeke effect is taking place, and people are trying to get back. The stock on running backs is rising up again. You know what I mean? And Fournette was a nice player. They had a nice highlight reel, so people were thinking maybe he might be, the next Zeke or something like that. But you got to look at all the pieces that came into play. With Zeke got behind that line, and a lot of other things that came into play in that. So, but I'd like to see where Fournette drops. I'd like to see where a couple of these quarterbacks go. Are there any particular players that you had some interest in college that you would like to see where they land?
Yeah, I'd like to see where Reuben Foster's going to go. You know, he's a linebacker. You know, the Patriots are linebackers.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. You know, he had a couple of injuries in college, but I still think he's going to be a beast. Jarrett Davis. I think if he drops down to the second or third round and Texas might go pick him up, he might be our cushion replacement. Okay. I know people they're going to pass on him because of his injuries, but I really think that boy can play some ball. Okay. I think he'll be really good. I think he'll be one of them guys that's like, wow, where'd he come from?
Okay.
Like I said, a couple of the guys out there, like I said, it's gonna be some it's gonna be something good to watch. Like I said, I'd like to see what the Ravens are gonna. I don't know really what the Ravens need. I think they're gonna need some safety help now. I think they're getting kind of old in their cornerbacks. I think they're gonna need some DB help. Offense, you know, they still got Flacco coming back. I don't know who running back is at the moment. They might need a receiver too because Pyramid ain't what they just thought he was gonna be.
Yeah, he didn't come on like. They made a big deal about that dude.
Yeah, they thought he was. I mean, that injury killed him.
Yeah. Man, Matt. Speaking of injuries, who was the guy? Who was the kid? A lot of people had him going as like one of the first DBs off the board. I want to say it's like Sean Jones. I can't think of the kid's name. Something Jones, I want to say. And at his pro day, he tore his Achilles. And you know, that's a wrap for him. So that's part of the reason. Like we're gonna have to do a topic about that. Why I feel like, I mean, I don't know your opinion on it, but I feel like the college players need to be paid. I don't give a fuck, you know, about a scholarship because that benefits the university. These motherfuckers are making millions off of these players. You telling me that they can't? A lot of these guys don't get to go to the next level. You got a lot of guys who shine in college. They're all stars in college. They make a lot of money for their school. You get a lot of jersey sales. You get a lot of that type of stuff going on, and they don't reap any benefit from it. You know, they go on to try to go to the next level. Their skill set doesn't translate, and you know they get no benefit from it. People say, "Oh, well, you got a free degree." It depends on what you got a degree in, and if it's worthwhile at all. And a lot of times they try to say, "Well, they push you in a certain direction," you know. And like I say, these are a lot of these guys are kids. So, but we'll talk about that another time. But like I say, he got injured. I think that's going to hurt him. You know, hopefully you still get drafted, but you know that Achilles injury, that's a hard one to come back from, and then that you know is one of those things that may change his game forever. So that would definitely be a gamble. You know, like I say, I'm particularly a homer. Don't care too much about, you know, what's going around all around the league. I just got to stay focused on, you know, who we play against. I'm looking around the rest of the AFC South, and there's definitely some weaknesses. The Colts are definitely going to have to, you know, tighten up on D. The Jags, you know, everybody thought the Jags won the draft last year, and you know, they have some real good pieces, but for some reason they just still keep stinking it up. You got a lot of people saying that they're going to go quarterback. You know, Deshaun Watson, you know, from Clemson, who I think is going to do something serious. And the reason I say that is because this dude went up against Alabama 2 years in a row and performed. You know, it wasn't like, you know, it was Bama. You know how Bama's considered in collegiate sports. He gave Bama a run for their money, you know, and 2 years in a row, and in the second year, he did that. You know, he did the deed. So yeah. I think that you got to consider, you know, you definitely got to consider him. And I want to say that because the same year that, like I say, and I didn't really watch a lot of college because I'm not big on the college game. But I caught that bowl game when DeAndre Hopkins single-handedly beat LSU, and that was the year I said, man, we needed a receiver, and I was like, man, we got to get that man. You know, my dreams came true, and we ended up drafting him. I mean, it felt like that was what I wanted, and it was just like when I saw that game, I was like, we need that dude, and you know, we got him. So it's something about those players, you know, coming out of Clemson and shit like that. They got something special, man. A lot of those guys got something special, and so I think that, you know, they was talking about he did visit with the Texans. He had a positive visit, but then like I say, you know, we got a lot of teams like the Jags and things like that. Or they feel like they're one piece away too. You know, they feel like they have a good defense. They feel like they went and got the pieces they needed to match up with the Texans because currently the Texans own the AFC South. You know, and regardless of how bad the quarterback play has been, we've been winning. So either that's just a testament to how bad the AFC South is or how good the Texans defense has been or maybe a little bit of both. And then, like I said, you got the Colts, you got the Jags, and then you got the shitty-ass, raggedy-ass, hoe-ass, fuck-ass Tennessee Titans. And, you know, they got Mariota. They feel like they're on the brink. They felt like they could have been in the mix last year, you know, if Mariota wouldn't have got hurt. But, like I say, shit, that still would have been what it would have been. You know, it was unfortunate what happened to him. And the kid can play. He's good, you know. But, like I said, people have to take into account that if we're getting back, you know, 80% J.J. Watt, then we're going to have another stellar year on defense. You know, minus injuries. Like I say, with KJ coming, Kevin Johnson coming back, and Watt coming back, you know, solid. So, you know, like you said, that safety, that would definitely be good. You know, any other teams that, you know, that pique your interest, any other teams that you know, you keep an eye on that you're interested in and what they may do in this draft?
Like I said, I just really want to see what the Ravens are gonna do. The Steelers. That's another team I like their defense.
Yeah, I like the Steelers. I'm not really a fan of too many teams. Not really a fan.
Another thing I want to watch for, like I don't think there's really that many of them this year. Yeah. But you know, we got a couple of guys getting up there. So like, who are their replacements? Like we got Drew Brees. It's almost time for him to go. Brady's he's almost time for him to go. Big Ben, it's almost time for him to go.
Brady ain't going nowhere. You saw what Brady did. Like you like it's time for him to go. Hell no.
I mean, like he still look like he's about 22, but still.
That motherfucker there is disciplined. That dude don't even during the season, dog. Like that dude is serious about his crap. Brady is not going.
He's the Mayweather of football, of quarterbacks.
I would say that. Well, in longevity, in lasting power, as far as, you know, health wise, yeah. But record wise, you know, he took some L's, so he'd have to go undefeated. So he got a great record, but he ain't go undefeated.
But dang, come on, though, Brady. I'm not even a Brady fan.
I'm not a Brady fan either. I'm not a Brady fan. I hate Tom Brady. I've hated Tom Brady since the Tuck rule. But here's the thing: Tom Brady's the best quarterback of all time. I hate him. I hate his guts. I hate saying it, but he proved me wrong. He did it in H-Town. Greatest Super Bowl of all time. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, shit. Motherfucker came back, dog. Like, yeah, motherfuckers counted him out. Motherfucker said, you out. It's done.
He's using receivers that would not start on any other team.
Exactly. I hate that guy. Stop talking about Tom. Let's talk about the draft. So, you know, Steelers, you say Ravens, and Texans, that's your squad. Like I said, I mean, primarily the Texans. I'm looking around the AFC, you know, because you want to know what the competition, the AFC South, because you want to know what your competition is doing. You want to know what moves they're making. So you can stay on track with, you know, with what they got going. Because, you know, so that way you can address the team needs that you have, because that's how a lot of guys go. Like, you know, guys are stocking up on corners because they're going to know, you know, we're going to have to get up with DeAndre Hopkins. And we're tired of him burning us up all day, so we're trying to get the best corners we can get. And, you know, even though Jags fans really believe that, damn it, what's his name?
Jalen Ramsey?
Jalen Ramsey. He's nice. The dude is nice. Don't get me wrong. But let DeAndre Hopkins have a quarterback and see what he does to people. Now, let's let him find
Oh,
somebody.
he's that good.
You don't think he's that good?
I watched a couple of his films. He's gonna get ate up next year. No how well.
I think he's nice. Like I say, the second game he played Hopkins. The first game Hopkins did him in. The second game he played Hopkins pretty nice. Got away with a couple of little things, but played him pretty well. And so Jags fans think they mediocrity to them is greatness. So they were super stoked about that. But like I say, shit, when it's all said and done, Hopkins is gonna win that all day, every day.
I think the speed allows him to be decent because he can get back to the ball. But I think overall he's gonna have a weakness. I don't think he's gonna last that corner. I mean, he's gonna play maybe 2 or 3 years. You might hear his name, and then he's gonna be like that one guy that played for the Raiders that was fast as hell that you never heard about ever again. I can't even think of his name. Namdi Asamoah.
Asamoah, yeah, Asamoah was a flash in the pan, man. He was married to an old girl, and he said, "Fuck it." I'm glad the Texans ain't pick his ass up because I remember there was a lot of conversation about getting on the Asamoah, and then, man, I'm glad it didn't happen. That was the year I think that we scooped up J-Jo. Is that the J-Jo year?
I think so.
That was like J-Jo. We got J-Jo and somebody else that year. We did some good that year. So, yeah, man.
The year we lost. I think Brooks Reed, and what was that defensive end I used to like name? I can't think of the name right now. He was tatted up. That was when the Eagles stacked up on all them old guys and then sucked.
When they had Connor Barwin and
they had Namdi, like all them dudes was over there. Then they fried it. They had a horrible year.
Everybody was talking about it was an all-star team. I think that's when Vince Young was like, "Yeah, this is like an all-star team," and then motherfuckers got blasted. I'm saying now you got to know how to put a team together. You can't just put a bunch of fucking motherfuckers just because they're talented together. I mean, they're gonna be able to play well. Some motherfuckers fit in the scheme. Some motherfuckers got to be, it's just a lot of factors that go into the shit. But like I say, we just on a few notes. We didn't kind of strayed off. You know how it goes in the Kush den. Sometimes the topic goes a little left. Sometimes it goes a little right. But we always get it back tight. You know what I mean? So we like to talk about a few hits. Talk about the Texas draft and I've touched on a few teams that we had some interest in, and see what happened on tonight. So I'll definitely be tuned in. Definitely be watching to see what happens because motherfuckers love to predicate the NFL. That's just fun to do, It's just, it's a very entertaining thing. With that being said, Mr. Shaq, is there anything you want to say to the people before we get up out the den?
I would say one thing. Never haven't seen them. Gonna look at some more highlights, but there are a lot of people predicting that this guy, Myles Garrett, defensive end, is probably gonna go to the Browns. I mean, he's 6'4", 272. He looks 4'6" speed at defensive end. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna be no clowny or nothing, but
ain't no clowny. Ain't no clowny. Yeah, absolutely.
Another name to put out there, Malik Hooker, safety from Ohio State. He has some pretty good highlights.
No.
Like I said, I don't watch too much football. I mean, college football like I used to. But I do watch a lot of highlights, and I do watch, the scout team and combine and all stuff like that. Let me see. Who's another guy out there? Oh, what's the other? What's that? I cannot pronounce his last name. I don't want to chop him up too bad.
That safety.
Trubisky.
Oh, Trubisky from North Carolina.
So yeah,
that's the things that I'm talking about people how their draft stock just blows up out of nowhere because there's a desperation for quarterbacks. He was a nobody last year. Nobody knew this dude, like unknown guy, and then just blew up. And a first round, they're talking about he could be the first quarterback off the board. They're talking about crazy shit like that. Experience is a thing. Playing in big games is a thing. I mean, because you see guys who've done it consistently in college for 3-4 years, win games, win big games. They get to the league and they're a bust. I don't know. I haven't, like I say, really just went on Trubisky to see, what his tools, his skill sets are, what it is that people like so much about him. But like I say, I've been hearing his name mentioned most. Him and now Mahomes is shot up there. I haven't heard a lot about Watson. I don't know if Watson might have had a pro day that great or something. If his stock has dropped, but a lot of people haven't been talking about him as much. But then, like I said, I've been focused on the Texans than national. So maybe people are already predicting him to go high and kind of off the board. So I haven't been hearing his name as much. But Trubisky's an interesting one, I say, because I don't know the caliber of competition that he's played against, and him doing it for a long time. But yeah. So yeah, those are some interesting things to check out. Like I said, I want to see where Watson goes. Just a big name, of course. You want to see where all the quarterbacks land, because you want to keep an eye on them, especially with the Texans and the quarterback. You definitely gonna watch and talk shit, because I definitely remember the Derek Carr situation. Had some interesting water, on that and some other things, but you just got to see what happens. And so, if those quarterbacks go other places and we get a chance to either get them or we end up passing on them, you definitely want to say, shit, we should have got them. That's just, in retrospect, everything is 2020. So, take a couple of those names. Like I said, I want to check see what the guy from A&M, like you said, the safety, the guy whose name can't pronounce. There's a lot of things I want to see where they fall and how they land. But with that being said, man, we finna get up out the Kush Den. I'm the real Ed Honcho. You can give me a follow on the Instagram, the Twitter, and all that there. You see Mr. Shaq Kush, you see his info over there. Give him a follow. Always interested on the Twitter. And we finna get up out of here. We glad you came and entertained some time with us in the den. You never have to smoke by yourself whenever you in the Kush Den. We always burning something. Something is always in the wind in the den. So with that being said, man, do something. I'm out. But before I get all the way out, let us know what you think. Let us know who y'all interested in. Drop that in the comments below. Don't be forgetting, like, subscribe to the channel, all that good shit. The Kush Den, kushden.com. Check us out on the website, and all those good things. With that being said, once again, I'm Ed Honcho. That's Shaq Kush. Do something, and we out this bitch. This time.